All right, guys, welcome to the call with Jeff Herring. He is the content conversion expert, and he also is a great expert at creating content. So I wanted to have him on today to be able to share with you all his tips and tricks. Well, all that we can fit into 1 hour. And you're going to come away with some pretty amazing step by steps. And so get your notepads ready. Jeff is a fellow NAMS instructor, the Novice to Advanced Marketing Systems. If you've been around me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about it. And he and I go back, golly, how many NAMS? I started at NAMS 3.
So
NAMS
that's how many we go back, because I started, I was there at the beginning.
That's right. You're at NAMS 1. Actually, I think my first NAMS is NAMS 4. So,
Okay.
and we're on what, 13 now?
Yeah,
14.
yeah. So that's a while ago.
It is. We've known each other for a while. So, get ready to learn, and I'd say we just go dive in.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kristen. I really do. And welcome everybody. Appreciate you sharing your time with us and invest in your most valuable asset, your time. A lot of places you could be. I'm glad you've chosen to be here. And Kristen, thank you. I know you to be one of the good folks who are careful, like I am, about who they bring in front of their community. And we've done this a few times with each other, so I'm triply honored. And Kristen was right. Get out your writing utensils, whether that's screen and keyboard or pad and pen, because not only are you going to get good, actionable stuff on this webinar, you're going to create some. You're going to create your own call to action that you can use now and forever to get people to take their next success steps, getting your Kindle books, opting into your offers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the content conversion mindset. I want you to know how to view this the right way so you can do it the right way. Then 3 content conversion mistakes, the power of content conversion. Then we're going to do our results now mini workshop. And then I'm going to give you a content conversion genius tip. So moving on here. Why in the heck should you listen to me, besides the fact that I just got endorsed by somebody you already trust? Well, let me ask you this before we do the few minutes of this. And this is going to be interactive, so we're going to practice sharing here in the Q&A. For some of you, that'll be where the little orange button is that opens up your dashboard. For others, it'll be in a screen below your webinar screen. But here's my question. How many of you ever been on a webinar that they took, like, I mean, up to a half hour to tell you about how great they were, and if you could only do things like they did, you'd be great too? Anybody ever be on one of those? Give me a yay or nay in the Q&A. Oh yeah, says Dennis. Oh yeah, yes, says Gudrun. Yeah, see, yeah, Patricia. See, that's not what's going to happen here. Don't worry about that. That's not what we're about. I'm just going to give you a little bit, maybe 3 minutes worth of why it's worth your time to spend the whole show with us. Now, what Kristen didn't say is I used to be a marriage and family therapist down in Florida's capital city, Tallahassee, for 20-something years. And people then ask, well, how'd you get from that to this, Jeff? And well, here's the transition. I started writing a weekly relationship column for the newspaper, which was really hilarious because I never finished my PhD because my professors told me I couldn't write, and I believed them. And Kristen, I don't know if I shared this story with you, but one of those professors about 3 years ago signed up for one of my content creation workshops. A professor that told me I couldn't write, so that was a pretty happy day. The point of this, folks, besides to prove that I once had dark hair, is this. Here's what I discovered when I did this column, and it applies even more so online. When you can show people, when you can demonstrate to people how you approach problems and how you solve their problems, and do that on a regular basis with your contact info included, it changes the whole marketing dynamic, turns it upside down. Instead of you having to pursue clients, they're pursuing you because they've already seen how you approach their problems and how you solve their problems. So when you're creating content in articles or blog posts or videos or Kindle books like Kristen teaches, people are seeing how you approach problems, how you solve problems, and they're flocking to you. I like Lynn's yes about the long introduction here. Lynn says, yep, and then the pitch starts 5 minutes later. I love it, Lynn. You're a veteran. This is going to be so different for you. All right, so Kristen mentioned NAMS, Novice to Advanced Marketing System. Speaking down here in Atlanta, we do it twice a year. We would love to meet you guys there. It's a great big family. And here's what I call my big four. Dan Kennedy, Lisa Sasevich, Alex Mendoza, who's now a NAMster, and getting a little ahead of myself, Tom Antion, all folks that are mentors and friends that I've either done content marketing for behind the scenes and or they use my stuff with their students and with themselves. So you don't have to just take my word for all this. Here's Entrepreneur Magazine Online talking about why content marketing is king and the preferred marketing tool for today's entrepreneur. Now, the mission in everything I do is simple, and that's helping online entrepreneurs just like you go further, faster. Kristen and I could spend the rest of the evening telling war stories about how it was when she and I first started compared to how it is now. And there's so many things out there that can help you go further, faster, which is the whole goal. Now, here's the big picture about what I do, and it's called the five factors necessary for massive online success in any niche. And the first one is content creation, like Kristen was talking about. And from that, you get to do these other four incredibly powerful things. And the five things you need online to be successful. One is getting visible online, being found. Another one is traffic generation, getting the right folks to your websites, opt-in pages, Kindle books, etc. From that, building a list community, not just a list of emails that you bomb every day, but a list of live hearts and live heads that you're called to take care of. And when you take great care of them, they're going to take great care of you. And then finally, product creation, cashing in on your content by creating products like Kindle books, trainings, resources, and other things that your community loves and invests in. So now, if you're a beginner, this is for you. I'm glad you're here because you're going to get to avoid some of the mistakes most people make and know what to do instead. If that's you, if you're a beginner, let us know in the Q&A to say, yeah, it's me, I'm a beginner. And like a lot of folks on here, there's probably a lot of you that have been doing this for a while, and yet you're not making the income you know you could. I want to change that tonight. Dennis is a beginner. Millie is a beginner. Awesome. Great, guys. And if you're one of our expert friends that are listening in, we're honored that you're here, always trying to get a powerful edge. Now, here's what you're about to discover on this show. Sharon's a beginner too. Love it. Love, love, love starting with you guys. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit of webinar wisdom and then the content conversion mindset, 3 big content conversion blunders and what to do instead, and the power of content conversion. Really want you to get that. Then we're going to break out into our Results Now Mini Workshop, and you guys are going to create some call to action conversion magnets. Okay, I like to name things a little bit stronger than they've already been named. Call to action is what these are, but I like to call them conversion magnets too. Then I'm going to share with you a content conversion genius strategy and walk you through your next success steps so you can run with this and profit. And like everything I do, a whole lot more. So, and like all my events, this one has a couple of sponsors. The first one is the Content Conversion Secrets course that you'll be invited into at the end of the show. That means there'll be an offer at the end of the show. Relax, though, because the only way that's going to show up is if and when I deliver on all the promises I just made you. And I'm going to come to you and ask you if I've delivered on all those. So don't feel obligated to come on board with Content Conversion Secrets unless I deliver. However, if I deliver, I want you to feel obligated to yourself to take the next success step so you can build your list and make more sales. Now, I always have a charity sponsor. I've just been so blessed beyond anything I ever thought or dreamed of in my life, so I always like to give back. And our sponsor for this show is an organization called Outnumber Hunger that helps feed local families. So a percentage of everything that comes in through my webinars goes to that organization. So here's your webinar wisdom. Man, if you can get this, this is so huge, folks. Your prospect wants to take their next success steps. Your job is to help them do it. Okay? This is not about hard sales and putting pressure on people. People are on webinars. People come to websites. People read Kindle books because they want to learn and they want to know their next success steps. They want to invest and go further faster. Your job is to help them do it, and that's what we're going to focus on in this show. Now, Even though you will hear me say the phrase call to action and conversion magnet interchangeably, the mindset I want you to take on for the rest of this show is it's really so much more than a call to action. When you do it right, it's a conversion magnet to get people to make that decision to invest in themselves. So if it's not a call to action, it's a conversion magnet, invitational language that compels your prospect to take the next success steps they already want to take. And that language, that positioning, those psychological triggers are what you're going to be learning in just a few minutes here. So blunder number one is failure to ask for folks to take their next success step. Now, I know that seems so obvious. Why should it be there, Captain Obvious? Here's why. Most people don't ask. Krista, I was looking for a YouTube video to show my higher level clients that people actually leave that out. They don't ask. And unfortunately, it wasn't hard to find one. What I was looking for was a good video with no way for anyone to connect with the person that made the video any further. And what was sad and funny at the same time is there was no link in the video to go anywhere, no link in the description to go anywhere, and it was a video about list building. Oops. So you always, always, always have a call to action. My students know that anything you put out there, there's always a way for people to invest with you or to engage you further, or both. So blunder number two is fear of getting started. So many people get scared about asking folks to opt in, about asking folks to buy, about asking for the sale. Okay? Now, there is one very surefire, time-tested way to get past that fear. You eliminate the fear with proven, time-tested templates. You don't have to make it up. You just fill in the blank with your own information. And then blunder number three, rubbing cheese on their necks. Now, we have some folks that were here from Orlando, some people that live in Altamont Springs. Depending on how long you lived there, back in the 70s, there was a stereo store in Winter Park, Orlando, and they were unlike all the other stereo stores in town. They didn't high-pressure sell you, and their slogan was, "We won't rub cheese on your neck," which was their way of saying high-pressure sales. Okay, so I brought that back to life because you guys have been on those shows where people are pressuring you to buy and that kind of thing. That's why I talk about using invitational language that invites people to take their next success steps, and you're going to get a whole lot more sales. Because what you don't hear about on the other side of all those high pressure tactics is all the refunds those folks get. You never hear about that. Okay? One way to reduce your refund rate is use invitational language, and people are sticking around because they want to go further faster. Okay? So here's something I really want you to get. Because when you get this, when you master what I'm about to show you, you can pretty much write your own ticket online. Now, I know that's a big, bold promise, but it's really true. Because whenever I want more of all these good things, good, wholesome, wonderful things that the internet provides, things like more visibility, being found more often, more traffic, more ideal new folks coming in, people joining my list community, more opportunities, more people coming to webinars, more relationships. Kristen and I go back several NAMs and are friends now and do a lot of business together. And whenever I want more profit, in green with the dollar signs, I do one simple and powerful thing over and over and over again with ridiculous consistency. I create more content with a call to action conversion magnet in it. Okay? And that's really the fundamental that drives everything I do, and you can do it too. All right? So from that, when you do that on a regular basis, folks, you get more prospects and you get more profits. Okay? Now, I have a question for you that's going to sound like an obvious question, but having been a mentor and a coach online now for years, I know this to be true. Many, many people make this too hard. They just do. They think it has to be hard. So my question is it okay if I show you on this show how to do this easier and faster? Would that be okay? That's not a rhetorical. Yay or nay in the Q&A. Peggy says, of course. All right, I like that, Peggy. Even before I finish the question, Cricket says yes. Cricket in Altamont. All right. And yes, 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 of course, please. Yes, please. Okay, here it comes. All right, so we're into the workshop portion now, and I'm going to show you a couple of things and some criteria that every call to action needs to meet. And the call to action is simply something like, come to the webinar to listen to Jeff. I've got this new course. Go invest over here. Now that's generic white bread kind of call to action, but it's basically asking people to take the next success steps. Okay, there's 5 criteria that every call to action needs to meet, and it comes in the form of 5 questions, or really 5 objections that most people have. Now these are not questions that you're asking. These are questions that your audience, your prospects are asking, whether you know it or not, whether even if they know it or not, at a conscious level. This is what they're asking, and this is what you've got to answer for them. Number 1 is, what is this? In other words, what is it that you're offering me? What is it? And the danger is, because we're so close to it, that we think they'll know what it is. No, don't do that. Remember, these oftentimes are beginners, so you got to be really clear about what you're offering. And I'm going to show you examples of this in just a minute. Number 2 is huge. What's in it for me? Everyone's listening to radio station WIIFM. What's in it for me? Okay? You've got to be very, very clear about what they're going to get out of either opting in to your list or investing in your resources. Number 3, do I trust this person? Now, the way to build trust is not to say, trust me. Matter of fact, when I hear that, I start getting wary of people, right? You build trust by giving good content, by helping people along, and you build relationships that way. Number 4 is, does this make sense? Based on what I've just read, watched, listened to, seen, does it make sense to take this next success step? And then 5, the most important of all, what do I do next? That's huge, folks. You've got to treat folks like they're brand new beginners and sort of take them by the hand as a leader and help them through what to do next. And you'll see examples of that going forward. So those are those 5 criteria. Now, Kristen said all this wonderful thing about me. I'm building trust with you guys already. Now I'm going to teach you how to tell a fib. Oh my goodness. However, the good news is fib stands for flow, invite, and brand. So many people, when they get to the call to action, if it's from stage, they change their tone of voice. If it's in writing, they change the way they're writing. You just want it to flow right into the call to action. Then, with invitational language, invite them to take their next success step. Then and only then do you mention your name and your brand. And I'll show you an example of that in just a moment. Okay, to break this down a little bit more, you want it to flow right out of the content seamlessly. You want to invite in such a way, and you'll see this in a minute, that you're basically saying, here's what I've got for you, here's what it'll do for you, and here's what I want you to do next. That is the ultimate and the simplest outline for a sales letter. I'm going to walk you through one of those in a little bit. Okay? And then and only then do you say anything about who you are, because you want to link your name, your brand, to the good stuff. Okay? Now, great for me to tell you. It's going to be a whole lot better for me to show you. All right? Before I have you do it yourself. Okay? So this is a piece of content from eZine Articles, the #1 content directory online. And what I want you to understand is this is one piece of content on one channel in one medium. Okay? The content is in front of you. The channel is eZine Articles. The medium is in text. Okay? We also do these in audio, video, infographics, social media, from the stage, and in sales letters. Okay? Now, looking at this piece of content, you really can't tell where the content ends and the call to action begins, and that's on purpose. Many of my students will go in their first assignment and view some of my content and go, well, how come we can't find the call to action? Because it's seamless, okay? But for you guys, I want to show you. There's the line. The content stops right here. And it does, I don't say the end or copyright by, because you don't want to stop the flow. And so there's already a subheading up here. Now there's another subheading that gets started here. This is the flow. Let me tell you how important this is, folks. I can take you to the lawn around the house I built in Tallahassee, Florida years ago. I was cutting my grass one day, thinking about how to do things better, when it hit me. In any piece of content, the call to action is the next paragraph, the next slide in the video, the next sentence from stage. And by figuring that out and using it in all my different businesses and then teaching it as well, I got a whole lot bigger lawn now, and someone else cuts it because I don't like doing that stuff. Okay, and that's the power of doing this, so having it flow right out of the content. Okay, so there's the flow. Get started here. I want to help you get started creating content on a regular basis by connecting you with your free instant access to my 3 Mistakes Content Creation Template. Grab yours by visiting, and there's a link for it for folks. Okay, so that's just flowing right out. It looks like it's part of the content because it is. Okay, and then the invitation. There's some invitation up here. You'll get the template complete with formulas and instructions along with a look over my shoulder video that shows you how I use the template to create profitable content. So I'm inviting them here and inviting them there. And then there's the branding, brought to you by Jeff Herring, dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. Okay, now I could have said by Jeff Herring, the king of blah, blah, blah. Okay, but that's about me. Okay? You want these things to be about them. So brought to you by, nice little slogan from TV, right? Dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. Let me check in with the audience here. Dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. Is that about me or is that about them? Not a rhetorical, let me know in the Q&A. Is that about me or is that about the prospect? That's right, it's all about them. That's right, it's all about you, Karen. There you go, all about them. Yeah, because you want this kind of stuff to be what's in it for them. So there's one example. Now, what I'm going to invite you to do over the next few moments is create, I know what you meant, Karen, is create one of these for yourself. Okay? So we've got the steps right here, the flow, invite, and brand. What I want you to begin to do is think about something that you give away to folks, okay, to opt into your list. Okay? And how you would ask them to do that at the end of a piece of content. And I'm going to have you create the flow part, the invite part, and the brand part for yourself and offer it up here in the Q&A. Okay, so now we can make this smooth and easy, or you can make it hard on yourself because right up here is a template. Okay, I want to help you get started, whatever it is you're going to help them get started, by connecting you with free instant access to whatever it is you're giving them, and then giving them the link. Okay, so you can start from scratch if you want to, or you could take these two sentences right here and fill in the blanks with your stuff. I recommend the second because I think things should be made as easy as possible. So I'm going to give you 60 to 90 seconds to play with this. And as you're playing with it, invite you to offer it up here in the Q&A, and we will celebrate it with you and even tweak it and see if we can make it better. So 60 to 90 seconds, ready, set, go. We're working here on the flow. Here's the template, and you're inviting them to go get something that you've got for them, okay? Used to be, when I first started doing this, Kristen, I had Mike Stewart develop or create some mellow content creation music for me. It was wonderful. I still like it. But the problem was people would come into the webinar late and hear the music and think they missed everything. So
yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah, right. The help desk would light up and the Q&A would light up. So now we just chat and coach. So you got a fun group here. They like to interact.
Of course they do. I've trained them well.
I was thinking the same thing.
We like interaction.
That's right. That's right. So folks, we got about 60 seconds left. All you're doing is using that template, and I want to help you get started and just take it from there. You will not be graded. We will celebrate them and try and make them better. And there is Gudrun, hope I'm pronouncing that right, who is showing up for the first time. And since you're going to interact with us, at least share with me, do I say he or she? Or do you know, Kristen?
It's actually Gudrun.
See, I knew I had to ask. Gudrun. Is Gudrun a he or a she? Gudrun.
And it's a
She.
she.
Gudrun spelled. Thank you.
There she
Gudrun.
is.
Gudrun. Okay, I like that. You know, Gudrun, you
I
put
think
that
that's
in
a
there
cool name. Good,
like you've had to do
Gudrun.
this before in your life, right? Yeah. Okay. So good
She's
job
had to
there.
do
It's like every time somebody teases me about my last name Herring, you know, with fish, it's like, you really think that's the first time I've heard this? Oh, so. All right, about half a minute left, folks. Get your stuff in so we can celebrate it and tweak it. Not only is this a workshop, you're going to get good coaching. Gudrun, you're funny. All right. Gudrun says, get started here. I want to help you get started understanding how to avoid the 3 greatest relationship mistakes by grabbing my free sheet. There you go. And here's Brian. So I want to help you get going as quickly and effectively as possible by giving you my free printable expert meeting guides here. Awesome. Brian, you're a go-getter. You got ahead of us. We're going to come back to that. Karen, the flow part. I want to help you get started on having a positive mindset about financial increase. Give you free instant access to my financial prosperity MP3. Okay. And you went ahead and did the you'll get part. We'll get there. And Gudrun is going down to the end. You guys, man, Kristen, this room is full of overachievers.
We have action takers in this group.
What have you done to these people? Millie says, I want to help you start your library for free. You will get a free book by joining Mill Fay Art Review crew here. There will be the link. Very good, guys. Nicely done. All right, so you're on a roll. Some of you went down and did the invite already. And here's Lynn saying, I want to help you protect your Amazon account by connecting you with your free instant access to my 5 mistakes that will get your Amazon account banned. Nicely done, Lynn. Now, those of you that are using the phrase free instant access, that's so huge. It triple plays on human nature. Okay, free, we don't need to explain that. Instant, people want things right away. Access implies that you're going to get access that other people aren't, sort of a backstage pass. So free instant access, powerful phrase. Jacqueline, get started here. I want to help you get started making the writing process on a regular basis. Nicely done. Nitty-gritty writing process checklist. I like that nitty-gritty part. Play some nitty-gritty band music in the background while you do that. All right, awesome, guys. Good job. Now, you're going to move into the invitation and talk with them a little bit about what they're going to get and continue the invite. Now, here's the example that many of you have already started on, so good on you guys. We'll go back and read this if I can find them, because this thing is scrolling. Going to give you the same 60 to 90 seconds, and you're just saying you'll get such and such when you go here. Okay? That's all you're doing. Ready, set, go. Telling you, Kristen, this is the first time. Every now and then, 2 or 3 people will do the whole thing in one chunk. This is the first time that almost everybody did. So.
Well, yeah, most of these people are in my Kindle 30 challenge, so they are used to following direction and filling out worksheets and taking action.
I love it. Makes everything so much easier. Like Brian, who said, you'll get great step-by-step, point-by-point reminders on critical topics to cover. Nicely done. Karen's, where was that? Bum, 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 bum. You'll get the complete sampler that I created just for you to help you renew your thinking regarding increase. Nicely done. You'll get a free book. Yeah, we did that. Millie, good job, good job. Lynn, and then Jacqueline had a, let's see, here's Julia doing the flow. Parents checklist to aiding your teenage driver. Brad did that once, got another one on deck. Awesome. Here's Lynn. You'll get my free report that outlines the 5 most common mistakes that violate Amazon's terms of service. Jacqueline, you'll get the step-by-step guide that will show you how to use the writing process to create amazing college essays every time. Okay, you guys, I can tell you guys have been practicing writing and creating with Kristen, because you're good at letting people know exactly what they're going to get. The cool thing about what you're doing here with creating calls to action is you're using them to get people to come on board with your list community and come on board with your products and services. Okay, so now, let's see, Julia, you will conquer your very first weight loss goal when you begin to listen to the very first audio. Nicely done. Saying very first. I like that. Good job. All right, so now we're going to do the brand. And you can say brought to you by, or from, however you want to say it. Now, you're going to do brought to you by your name. This is one you're absolutely going to get right. Okay? Just like those test papers, we had to write your name first. I always thought, well, at least I'll get that one right. Okay? And then dedicated to whatever it is you're helping your client, student, member do. Okay? So let's do this one because it's shorter, only about 60 seconds. Brought to you by, dedicated to, ready, set, go. And again, Kristen, some people have gotten ahead and done it already. Like Karen, brought to you by Karen Gardner, helping you to think like a winner. I like that. Thank you, Julia. I like that. Thank you, Brad. And Peggy.
Look at them taking action.
What's that?
Look at them taking action.
I know. I love these guys. Come hang out with your group, man. This is cool.
You should come out and hang out with my group. They're cool people.
That'd be fun. Be fun. All right, so let's see. Julia, brought to you by Julia J. Is it Mueller or Muller? It's my passion to make sure you succeed this time. I like that. Brad, let's see. He's doing the you'll get the checklist. Okay, cool. Peggy, brought to you by Peggy Carodi, dedicated to helping you achieve wellness through nutrition. Peggy, unless there is some demand for you to use the alphabet stuff after your name, don't, because it just slows down people taking action. Okay, they look at the letters and they wonder what it is, and it just throws them off. Now, if your licensure body demands it, then you got to do it. But just a little tip there. Brought to you by Jeff Zell, dedicated to helping you gain more hours in your day. Brought to you by Lynn Jordan. Hey, there's Lynn, dedicated to helping you protect and expand your business partnership with Amazon. Brought to you by Mary Elaine, dedicated to helping you find the positiveness in your life. Wow, you guys did good. You just created a way to use in text a call to action that's going to get more people to join your list to take the next success steps. And we'll get Jacqueline's in here and then move on. Brought to you by Jacqueline Myers, dedicated to providing tips and techniques to the unenthusiastic college writer. Nice use of language. All right, now let's do one in video. Okay? Before I do that, though, remember where I talked about the 3 simple steps about here's what I've got for you, here's what it'll do for you, here's what you want to do next. Looking at that same example, here's what I've got for you. Okay, you're going to get the 3 mistakes content creation template. Here's what it will do for you. You'll be able to create content. We talk about that, some up here and some down here. And then here's what I want you to do next. And there are the 2 links. Okay, so here's what I've got for you. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. I'm going to walk you through a longer example of that in just a little bit here. All right, so you guys ready to do this in video? You've done it for text. You guys want to do it for a video? Yay or nay in the Q&A, kids? Please, says Julia. Big yes from Karen. Cricket just says, okay. All right. Good run is yes. All right, here we go. Now, what I'm going to show you is 4 slides. Simply 4 slides at the end of a video. It could be at the end of a webinar. And how to do this, what you just did in text, how to do it in video. Oh, Julia, I love Julia. I'm afraid of video, yet I play instruments on stage and sing. Okay? So if we could just have you doing video and sing your invitation, it'd be fine, right? Okay? The way to get past that, Julia, is just do it. One way to do it is do screen capture video and not worry about any kind of talking head or whatever. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And Julia never thought of singing it. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, it'd be different, okay, which sets you apart. So what's happening here is you've got, let's say, a 2 or 3 minute video with a few slides, and now you're coming down to another slide. And you keep the flow going by giving them a bonus tip. The slide starts with bonus tip, and this is an invitation from a video to a webinar, okay? So bonus tip, you can learn much more about content conversion magnets and even create your own on our next Results Now webinar. This is slide 1, and that's the flow. Okay, it's flowing right out of the rest of the video. Okay, slide 2, again, bonus tip. Here's the name of the webinar. Content Conversion Live, Secrets to Converting Your Content into More Prospects and Profits. Does that sound familiar? It's the one you're on, kids. That's still doing the flow. And it's slide number 2. Slide number 3, keeping the bonus tip. Here's the invitation. Save your seat and join us when you visit. And there's the link. Okay? So it's not click here and blah, blah, blah. One of the things that will really help you to get more conversions is come up with as many different ways as you possibly can to say click here, because click here gets old. So save your seat and join us when you visit, and there's a link here on slide 3. This is the invitation. And then continue with the bonus tip for the branding on slide 4. You've seen this before, brought to you by Jeff Herring, dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. And there's the link again. Okay, so in 4 simple slides, you converted this template to use on a webinar, on a video, and really, I mean, 2 or 3 minutes. I did one a couple of days ago. It's a 13-second video, and people learn from it. So, I mean, the length of it is really up to you. Okay, so, whoops, getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Let's back up, and I want to walk you through this. Just for sake of time, I'm not going to have you create this, but I want you to see it and walk you through to show you some more of what's going on. Okay? Now, when you say bonus tip at the top of the slide, and you notice that it's on all 4 slides, it's conveying the message that they're still delivering content. You're still delivering content, and that's a good thing to do. Excuse me. A little later on, when I'm walking you through your next success steps and how to do more with this, I'll still be delivering content to you. So all through this, I'm modeling what I want you to do. Okay, so here in the bonus tip, you can learn much more about whatever it is you're teaching them, and even create your own on our next, or on this page, or on this website, whatever. Okay, so that's flowing. You're not saying, now here's my resource, or here's the pitch. It's a bonus tip. Okay, you do that on the second slide, and just naming whatever it is they're going to get. Okay. Now, if your language is important here, folks, is one of the psychological triggers. If you're at all interested in learning how to do calls to action or in increasing your conversion, and you see a title like this, Content Conversion Live, Secrets to Converting Your Content into More Prospects and Profits, it's going to pull you in. So you want to word it, the title of anything, in a way that's going to pull people in. That increases the flow. Slide 3 is the invite. Save your seat and join us when you visit. It's sort of like inviting them into your home, right? And again, bonus tip. And then you're mentioning who it's brought to them by, and really it's about saying this, dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content, because this is all about them. Okay, so here's what we've done so far. You've created a call to action in text. You've seen how to do one in video, and many of the go-getters here are probably creating slides like that even as we speak. And if you didn't get it all, don't worry, because there will be a replay given the technology cooperates. Now, as I promised, I've got a big question for you coming up. First, I want to tell you that we're still going to walk you through a sales letter using that 3-step process I just showed you a moment ago. Here's what I've got for you. Here's what it will do for you. And here's what you want to do next. Okay? But first, I've got to ask a really important question. Have I delivered? I told you I was going to ask this, right? So I'm coming to you and asking you, have I delivered on all my promises that I made at the beginning of the show? Yes or no, yay or nay, in the Q&A, please. Yes, you have. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for all those yeses. Goodwin says, yes, you have, although I was skeptical. Ah, the best yeses in the world from the skeptical consumers. I love it. Millie, Peggy, Regina, Karen. Awesome. Brad, thank you guys. So here we go. Because what you've been able to do is sort of scratch the surface. Oh, what a nice thing Julia said. You always do. I just lost touch with you for a while. So good to hear you again, Jeff. Well, Julia, so good to have you back around. Okay, and all of you were scratching the surface and creating a couple call to action conversion magnets, right? Now, what if you had 21 plus of these call to action conversion magnets in text, audio, video that you could use whenever you wanted to? In video, text, audio, social media, infographics. Folks, 75% of all communication online now comes through video and infographics. So that's why we do video and infographics, speaking, sales letters, and more. Now, here's what you're going to get inside Content Conversion Secrets. You're going to get my famous Get Started Here module, because I don't want anybody to ever not know where to get started. I want you to know exactly what to do next. 21 content conversion magnet templates, actually more than 21. And like I just showed you, text, audio, video, social media, infographics, speaking, sales letters, and the bonuses, which are many. One of them will be a content conversion consult with me, where we'll be on the phone looking at your call to action and making them better. And then bonus 3 is my content conversion vault. A lot of people that get my courses say this is worth the whole investment, because everything I've ever written or everything I've ever done a video on this subject is there for you to consume. And then the private Facebook content creation group. And what I want to do before we get to that is I want to take you on a little journey here and show you what I was talking about. Remember the here's what I've got for you, here's what it'll do for you, here's what I want you to do next model. I'm going to model that for you as I show you the sales letter for taking your next success steps. As somebody said on a recent webinar, Kristen, oh, I get it. You're showing us how to sell well by selling well. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so here's what I've got for you. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what I want you to do next, directed to you guys in a model that you can use. Okay, so here's what I've got for you. The Get Started Here module contains your first assignment, so you can see what's possible. This is a video I watch once a month just to make sure I'm going as far as I can. Then I'm going to show you how to automate these things, which is cool. We're going to go deeper into those 5 criteria. Going to go deeper into the profitable flow invite brand, and way deeper into the 3-part invitational language. And you're going to learn how to templatize your enterprise and increase your creativity with these templates. And here's all the templates. In text, the bottom line, bonus tip, almost forgot template. This one was inspired by Peter Falk. And inside I tell you the story of how I met Wayne Rogers, Trapper John, on MASH, and Peter Falk in the same day, because they're friends. In audio for radio, podcasting, teleseminars. In video, 3 slides, 4 slides I just showed you, how to use it on YouTube, how to do it on webinars, and how to do it in video sales letters. And then on social media, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, even Twitter. Yeah, even Twitter. And infographics, apps to do that, what graphics convert. And then you're going to get them in speaking, how to do seamless selling from the stage, and then in sales letters, how to do a video sales letter that converts like crazy. Now, here's something really cool. I told you about this content conversion consult. I want you guys to be ready when I reveal the link in just a little bit here, because here's what happens, okay? The first, I always put a 7 in this. I usually only make it 7, but because it's Kristen's group, I'm going to make it 17. The first 17 people that come on board are not only going to get this conversion consult, I will create a call to action conversion magnet for you. Okay, yeah, that's $1,000 value in cash. It's much, much more valuable in that for usefulness because you can use it for the rest of your career. Okay, and then the vault with all my articles and videos on this topic, and then other hand-picked experts, and then the Facebook group, so you can get support, community, and joint ventures. Now, so I just showed you. Here's what I've got for you, and here's what it'll do for you. Like everything I do, this is simple, methodical, effective, profitable, repeatable, and powerful. It gets you more prospects and profits when you do this, folks. You get more highly qualified opt-ins. For those of you like Brad that are wondering about building a list, this is how you do it. Okay, so the question becomes, well, if I don't have a list, who do I put this in front of? You use places like Easy Articles, Facebook, YouTube, to your identified ideal clients. And when you use the right language, psychological triggers and positioning, they're going to come on board and you're going to grow a list. Number 3, you're going to get more sales. Prospects are ready for their next success steps. They're ready to buy. Your job is to help them do it with these tools. You get to templatize your enterprise. Okay? Let me ask you this. Show of hands in the Q&A. How many of you have ever been told to work smarter instead of harder? Right? Yes, yes, yes. We all have. No one ever tells us how. This is how. Okay? When you use templates, it's how you work smarter instead of harder. Now, number 5 is huge. I want you to get excited about this. Because once you incorporate these secrets, these strategies, these principles, these templates, your articles, your Kindle books, your blog posts, videos, audios, social media updates, speeches, infographics, anything, folks, webinars, sales letters, reports, PDFs, on and on and on and on it goes, are going to dump cash into your system like a well-oiled machine because people want to take their next success steps. Your job is to help them do it. I also want to help you eliminate the guesswork in the Get Started Here module. And then here's a fellow NAMster, Adela Rubio, who, Kristen, you know how it is when you get so close to what you do. And then Adela said, you know, and this was after she changed her whole business based on the templates. Jeff, the way you show us how to create content conversion with your templates makes all of our content a mini sales letter. And that's what happens, folks. Everything that you're doing to help people also is taking them to their next success steps. Now, here's the drum roll, because remember, the first 17 that come on board get all the bonuses, plus I'll create a call to action for you. All right, now, this is normally $497, and that's where it will end up someday, okay? However, right now, because we're just launching this thing, you can get it for one investment of $197 or 3 payments of only $77. We'll finance it for you. A payment now of $77, one in a month, another in a month from then, or save $34 like a lot of people do, and invest just $197 in one payment. Okay. Now, this is where the sales letter is. We've been here the whole time. Let me show you the link. Okay. And we'll scroll through a couple things here. We'll forget that drama. There we go. contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen. And Kristen, my dear, if you would be so kind as to type that into the chat box for us so folks can just click on it instead of having to type it into their browser. And once it gets up there, folks, I'll announce it, and I want you guys, some of you guys to go over there and check it, make sure it's working okay. contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen is where you want to go. Now, I told you I would give you a genius tip, right? Here it is. You've seen it before. Now, whenever you see me show the same slide twice on a webinar, that's how incredibly important it is. Because in case you missed this in the beginning, and for those of you that came in the middle, when you master what I'm about to show you with the tools that you're about to get access to, you can pretty much write your own ticket online. Because whenever I want more of the wonderfully good and wholesome things that the internet has to provide, like more online visibility, it doesn't matter how good your stuff is if nobody ever sees it, right? So you got to get visible. And you got to get traffic to your stuff. You learned that or skimmed the surface with it when you created that, the opt-in language in text, the call to action in text. Whenever I want to build my list, get more opportunities, more relationships, and more profit, I do one simple thing, powerful thing. over and over again with ridiculous, relentless consistency. And I want you to too, because of the benefits. That's create more content with a conversion magnet in it. Now, here's Donna, who's already on the inside, talking about how the magnets, the CTAs, flow so effortlessly, and she wants to learn how to do it. Now, Kristen, I don't even know if you know this story, maybe a little bit from her mastermind, but two dear friends and colleagues have been, there's no other word than bugging me, for 2 years to create this course. Mike Stewart and David Perdue, the founder of NAMS. And I'll use David's language
They're good at
about it.
bugging people.
What's that?
They're good at bugging people to create products.
They are. And David said, don't create another word of content until you learn these secrets. And what David said to me was what finally got through to me. He said, Jeff, you are so very good at doing something that's hard for other people and just natural for you. And it's so natural for you, you don't even know that you're doing it. And it's the language you use, the positioning you use, the psychological triggers you use to get people to take their next success steps that they already want to take. And then I'm like, yeah. But here's where he just got me, Chris. And he goes, Jeff, you need to teach this. And then he really got me. He said, and you're the only one who can. And once he said that, I went, oh, crap, he's got me. So that's why we're teaching it. And he's right, because it's helping so many people build their list and get more sales. Ruth, this is not part of NAMS. Kristen and I are part of NAMS, but this is not part of NAMS. This is just part of Jeff and Kristen, if that made any sense at all. All right, so again, just to review, the Get Started Here module, because I bet a lot of you have invested in information products before, and you had no idea where to get started and no idea what to do next. You can share that in the Q&A and just say, yeah, that's me. That's why everyone, yep, says Karen, a big yep, that's why every one of my courses have a Get Started Here module, okay? And you start there so you'll know exactly where to get started and exactly what to do next. Lynn is asking, are the modules spaced out or delivered all at once? Actually, Lynn, at this point in time, it's both, okay? Because this course is open. There's several hundred people already in it, okay? But it's a course in progress, okay? We're still doing live training on it. So there is the Get Started Here module, the text module is there, and we're working on the rest. Now, everything has content in it, but we're doing it slow so people don't get overwhelmed. I don't want people to feel like they're drinking from a fire hose. I want you to take this step by step so you can get really, really good at it. And what you'll get really, really good at is creating calls to action in text, audio, video, social media, infographics, speaking, sales letters. You and I, when you decide the time is right, we'll get on the phone, and I'll probably be sitting in what I call my laptop chair, focusing on completely on your business, looking at your calls to action, and helping you improve them. And for the first 17 folks to come on board, one of which is Dennis McCracken. Welcome aboard, Dennis. Can't wait to talk to you. For the first 17 folks, I will help you. I will create a call to action conversion magnet for you that you can use wherever you want. Okay, you get my content conversion vault, and a lot of people that have my courses say that the vault is worth the whole investment, Jeff, just to get in there and see everything that I've created around this subject. And then you get the private members only paid big mode around it with alligators, private Facebook content conversion group where you get lots of support, like Lynn Jordan will. Welcome aboard, Lynn. I come in there and answer questions. Just today, I made up a new call to action magnet yesterday, popped it into the Facebook thing first today, and then put it over in the members area. Great place to get joint ventures going. Lynn, you're cracking me up. Okay, you converted me. Thank you, Lynn. Best testimonial of the night. I eat my own cooking, folks. And so what I'm doing is modeling for you. This is the call to action that I'm giving you right now, okay? And lots of you are responding. And so that shows you that this stuff works, and I want to teach you how to do it, okay? Now, that's breaking down, like we already did, what you're getting. So we'll just kind of go through it so you can see in audio, radio, podcasting, teleseminars, all the different forms of video, social media. The language is different, and how you craft it is different, okay, in these different places. And then infographics. There's a great little app out there for your iPhone. Sometimes I'll challenge myself before I even get up in the morning, which is usually way early, to come up with something to put on an infographic. So, you know, I've got something out there before I even get out of bed. I'll show you what graphics convert, how to do it in speaking, and how to do it in sales letters, okay? And then there's the content conversion consult. You get to access all my experience in doing this. I'm going to walk you through your next success steps. And as long as you're one of the first 17, and that's starting to fill up, so if that's what you want, come on board like Wendy just has. Welcome, Wendy. And I'll create a call to action conversion magnet for you. And then the vault, as we talked about, the Facebook group. Now, so folks, it's decision time. And you can come on board for 3 payments of just $77, one now, one in a month after that. Or save $34 and come in with 1 payment of just $197. So there's the link, contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen. Obviously, it's working because of all the people that are coming on board. Now, folks, I want you to write this email address down, okay? Because customer support is huge to me, okay? So write this down, support at.
I'm typing it in for you.
Oh, okay. Support at jeffherring.com. So if you have any challenges coming on board, any challenges after, that link is also in the members area, but I want you to have it so we can take care of you. Because we don't do anything else after these shows until we make sure everybody is hooked up and got what they need. Now, what will be sent to you by email in just a few moments, including who is behind Pure Freedom Ministries of Alaska, cool name, is your username and password and your link to get inside. Mary Elaine is asking a question I love. Does your program work if you don't have a product now? Yes, ma'am. And really, it's the best time to come on board, Mary Elaine, to do this right, because what will help you do with your calls to action is get people to join your list community first, okay? And then when you develop that product, you'll be able to use a language that gets people to invest in that product, which I think is a really cool thing. So let's see, there was a good question that Brad was asking. But whom do you send these calls to action strategies to? Won't you still need a list of potential buyers? Yes, absolutely. And see, oh, that's Karen. Welcome aboard, Karen. And absolutely, this works for ministry. Absolutely.
Welcome, Karen. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, she says woohoo. Actually, the pastor at the church I go to, because I watch a lot of communicators as part of my business, this guy is the absolute best, and it works for him. So now what was I saying? Brad's question. Yeah, if you don't have a list, if you're just starting, Brad, this is a great way to build a list, because places like Easing Articles, other people's blogs, all the social media places, YouTube especially, get your stuff up there with the appropriate call to action that people are going to join your community. It just flat out will. So a couple of questions we always get. If I come on board for $77, 3 payments, Jeff, do I get everything at once, or do I have to wait till I've made all 3 payments? Well, you have to wait till all 3 payments and then wait 3 more months, and then there's a special dance that Kristen will teach you, and then you'll get, no, I'm playing. I treat you like adults, like big people. It's all based on honor and integrity. So yeah, you make your first 77 payment, you get in, you get going. And I promise you, get in and get going and do this stuff. Although I'm glad to finance it for you, you won't need to finance anything at this level again when you do what I tell you to do on the inside. And the other question that's here that we often get is, when does the training start, Jeff? Well, there's already a few hundred people in there. Karen's saying, hi, Kristen. There's already a few hundred people in there. Some of the training has already begun, but we're adding to it every day. And there are still several live trainings coming. Now, it does not, Kristen knows this, it does not matter when you schedule things. Some people will not be able to make it. Okay? That's just the reality of it. Here's how I work with that. If you know a training's coming up, a live one on webinar, and you know you can't make it, here's what you're going to do. In the members area, underneath the module for that training, you're going to put your questions in there in advance. And I will answer them on that module. So you'll come back from wherever you are that keeps you from our training, and you'll be listening to the replay, and you'll hear your name. It's an amazing thing. And then if you have questions after the fact, of course, in the members area on Facebook, I'll answer them, my staff will, as well as the hundreds of members in there, which is really the greatest way to get really, really good feedback. So as we start to wrap up this show, if you got more questions, be glad to entertain them. But I'm going to call on Miss Kristen as the esteemed leader of this group, and just wonder if you have any questions or anything you wanted to add at this point.
I just want to say that, Jeff, thank you for the awesome information and the step-by-steps. I know some people are going away with their call to actions written right now and their samples done that they can actually use, which is even like bonus cool. I remember you teaching this to me, and I used it right away and saw an instant significant difference in one of my products. So I'm just really excited for this, and I thank you for all this great information. And guys, don't wait to go grab this, because I know Jeff, he's honest people, and if he says the price is going to be going up soon on a new product, it's going to be going up soon. And I mean, you know, I only bring to you people of integrity, because, you know, look at my, you know, when I say one of my products prices are going up, it usually goes up.
Yep.
So the only time it hasn't gone up was when we had a technical glitch. So,
those happen to you too, huh?
yeah, it does.
Hey, Dennis is asking, how do we get to the members area? You will be sent, Dennis, right after this webinar. All your content information and email will come with the link and the username and password. If it is not already there, we go back in and go through everything and make sure everybody's hooked up. So no worries. You're welcome, Dennis.
Yep, and thank you so much for giving your support@jeffherring.com email address, because I know a lot of people might have, you know, Hotmail or Yahoo email, AOL email that likes to put it in spam boxes or get rid of it completely.
Yep.
So I don't know if you do this, but my tip for them is, if you don't get that welcome email, email support@jeffherring.com and enter your phone number in there, because if you're not getting email for some reason, or you have a block on your system, then even hitting reply from those support emails sometimes doesn't go through. So that's just my little extra tip.
That's a great tip, and that's great, because we do call people, and it's so weird, Kristen. It's so fun when I call somebody and they go, "Is this really you?" I say, "Yeah, I believe so." Mary Elaine, welcome aboard. Goodwin is asking, "Can I do the course in my own time, or is it each week that I have to attend?" Guess what? This will be available to you, Goodwin, and everyone else. I used to say lifetime access, but, you know, who knows? So I say, as long as there's the internet, you'll have access to this course, okay? Unless, of course, there's a zombie apocalypse, and then all bets are off. So, yeah, you can do it at your own pace, absolutely. I remember one time, Kristen, I was at the gym on a Saturday morning, so on a bike, a stationary bike, and was checking my email, and there was one customer service thing, and I thought, well, I'm just sitting here, I might as well take care of it, right? Because it'll be a couple hours before I know my team checks it. So I took care of it. Before I left the gym, the guy emailed me back. He goes, "Wait a minute, you actually got back to me on a Saturday morning, and this is taken care of? I didn't expect to hear from anybody till Monday." So I love to give that kind of experience. So like Kristen was saying, if you have any issues, support@jeffherring.com. If my goal is to make sure everybody is hooked up and connected before my head hits the pillow tonight.
Awesome.
And in a little while, I'll go down and take care of that while watching the replay of Criminal Minds or something like that. So everybody will be taken care of. Let's see, I think I've gotten to all the questions. And there's still a bit of room left for those first 17 to have me create a call to action magnet for you. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with Kristen and I on this show. because there's lots of webinars out there and lots of places you could have been, but you invested your most valuable resource with us, your time. And all we're asking for is you invest another valuable resource, just a little bit of what you've earned, and invest it in yourself to know how to use the words, the language, the positioning, and the psychological triggers to get people to do what they already want to do. Okay? It's as simple, excuse me, and as powerful as that. And hey, Kristen, thank you. I've lost track how many of these you and I have done together, but
We've
it's
done
always a
3 or
blast.
4.
Yeah. And you know what? During the week, I found a cool NAMS picture from when you were doing, remember when you were having people put their handprints on something?
Yeah, we're still in the process of that project.
Yeah, well, there was a picture of I had just done it or whatever, and we were standing there laughing. And then I couldn't find it. I was going to put it on the slides. So anyway, all that to say thank you. Like I said, I know you to be one of the people that are careful with who you bring in front of your community, so I'm once again honored. Folks,
You're very
listen.
welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Here's what you want to do. You want to go get this stuff at contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen. That is my call to action to you. Go get this stuff at contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen. I am going to set my handy dandy timer that you saw earlier to 15 minutes. That doesn't mean we're going to be doing this for 15 more minutes, but you've got 15 more minutes to come on board and be one of those first people on board. And I'll be making sure everybody's hooked up, as will Tracy. So again, go get this stuff at contentconversionsecrets.com/Kristen. And as always, go use this stuff because it flat out works. And we'll catch you next time. Kristen, thank you, and good night.